Sometimes we have a tendency to reject those who are a little bit different, who we figure don't cut the mustard, or we just consider less thans. And at times we forget how they might feel about this. When we talk about that massacre that happened in Isla Vida, I'm just going to call it Santa Barbara. 7 people died, well 6 because the guy killed himself, and I don't really count that very much. All this happened over a guy who felt constantly rejected and put down, possibly bullied. And through reasons that, to a certain extent, he feels is not his fault. And he was autistic. He had Asperger's syndrome. The sad thing about this, I've heard it all before. I know somebody who says almost the same things that the guy said, the killer said in his YouTube videos. The only difference is the guy I know doesn't talk the violent stuff. He doesn't talk about revenge or retaliation, but everything else is almost word for word. And I've always suspected that he might have been autistic. And the more I see of this guy's video, I realize my quote-unquote friend is more than likely autistic. I think he has Asperger's syndrome. He has only had one relationship in his life, and that was only for about a month. He's headed into middle age, and he just can't seem to cope socially. And that's the sad thing about this. He's angry all the time about this, and people are kind of cold. And if you don't cut the mustard, they don't let you in. I took him to a Panhellenic Greek picnic a few years ago, and something so he could meet some girls or whatever. He went, and keep in mind, this is a guy that don't know the difference between an omega and a delta. And he went after all these women, and he bombed out every time. It just didn't work out for him. And that's a sad thing, because it's a cold world. That's all I can say. It is a cold world. If you don't cut the mustard, people will just walk away from you and think nothing of it. And forget that you might have feelings in the process. What can I say? I don't think it'll ever change. People will be people.